Hi everyone, my name is Katherine Abdul, and today we're going to interview.
Orlando Ramirez.
A little background about Mr. Ramirez is he used to be a student at CRC, but today we're going to talk about how COVID not only affected his education, but also his career. Let's get into it. So for first question, did you experience a transition from in-person to online during the pandemic?
Yeah, I did. So when the pandemic started, I was attending CRC, uh, obviously, on campus, and excuse me. I remember, being in class and just with my classmates, even the professor, some professors. We would just kind of sort of joke around about the new COVID. It was new to everyone. We was just like, oh, you heard about the COVID, COVID this, COVID that, and eventually, COVID made its way towards well, everywhere, but it hit California, and of course it was all over social media and the news, and soon after that, uh the professors and everything, they were all really more concerned, and students as well. We were like, okay, the COVID is real. It's not a joke. People really are dying, and people really are, getting the strain.
Mhm.
So uh, it was in March, when we were in class, and I remember getting an email on my phone, and I looked around. Several other students did as well. We check our phones, or even at break. We check our phones, and we saw that it was an email from the district saying, that it's the last day of school because we're shutting down because of COVID. And then it all just really hit me fast, and well, hit
Mhm.
everyone, and I was just like, okay, wow, like this is really my last day. I'm not coming back to school tomorrow, I'm not coming back the next week. School's basically done. And then the transition over to online, for that semester, it was only like maybe a month left,
Mhm.
I think. And obviously I finished it, but my grades did drop as soon as we transitioned. I even ended up dropping a class because of it. And then the next semester, I did it online, and I didn't like it at all. Um, I took one class, and I don't remember if I passed it. I might have passed it, or I might have barely passed it.
Mhm.
So then the semester after that, I decided to not go online anymore and just wait until we go back to in person.
Mhm.
So and that's how COVID affected my school.
Mhm. So I heard you used to work at McDonald's as a manager. So did you experience a transition from in-person to online work during the pandemic?
No, so there was no online work because it was McDonald's. But yeah,
Mhm.
I did have uh, an experience because of it, though. So because of COVID, uh, the restaurant I was working at laid people off, and I was one of them. Well, I was actually the only manager, but a bunch of other crew members got laid off as well with me, and that's how it affected me, by basically losing my job, and going on unemployment because of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Has the pandemic changed the way you connect with friends, family, and community?
Um, Family, no, not so much. We don't really have much family here. Just closest one is an auntie. She lives in Lodi, which is about half an hour away.
Mhm.
We still see each other, once every month maybe, and that's how it's always been. We don't really see each other as much, so no, that hasn't changed because of it. And my friends, they have not either. So I play a lot of video games, and with my friends, I talk to them through the headset and online.
Mhm.
That's how we communicate and hang out by playing. So no, it didn't really COVID didn't really affect uh the way I hang out with them or anything, because even before, I didn't go out, like, let's say, partying
Mhm.
or any of that with my friends. We just stay at home
Yeah.
and play.
Okay. What do you think, like, what role has social media and news coverage played in your experiences during the pandemic?
um so obviously, I think that social media and the news play a big role, especially nowadays. Everyone's linked to social media in some way.
Mhm.
um so yeah, everybody sees what's going on through there or through the news, and on social media and the news as well. We we see what they want us to see. Like,
Mhm.
they'll they obviously post or talk about you know what they want to you know let out.
Mhm.
And usually what that is, what I think is, the bad, the worst of the worst. It's always going to come out. And unfortunately, that's what scares people. And maybe sometimes a little over exaggerated. And people start believing things that aren't so much true. But uh in the on the other side, or the other hand, it's good, because it has people who it gets people scared. And they tend to stay at home, which is what we really need right now. You know if you don't need to go out, don't. Even though most people nowadays are vaccinated, and those who are not, are is by their choice. But even if you are vaccinated, just stay at home, stay safe, keep others safe. And I believe that the news does help with that, as well as social media. It helps crowd control, I guess.
Mhm. But do you think it's accurate enough to, like, get the citizens informed about COVID?
Yeah, so if someone really wants to deep dive and research COVID, anyone could really do it on the internet. Maybe not through a social media post or through the news, but you could go on the internet and look up facts and what's known about COVID and learn about it. And yeah, the news and some posts and stuff has brief information about COVID. So yeah, I believe that it does. What was the first part of the question?
Accurate enough.
Yeah, I believe it is accurate enough. But still, I do think that maybe sometimes it's over exaggerated a bit.
Mhm.
um but
Because, like, fake news and
yeah,
stuff.
exactly, made up. But when that happens, that's when if you're really interested, you could look it up on the internet and see
Mhm.
if there's any accurate sources
Mhm.
backing it up.
Okay. So if you could relive the past year and a half, what would you do differently?
um so like I said, I was working at McDonald's, or like you said, I was working at McDonald's, and I got laid off. And when I did, I went on unemployment, and I was, receiving a lot of money from that, because the the current situation. And that's probably the only thing I would change, is just what I did with that money. I would save it instead,
Mhm.
and you know, just save my money.
What do you think was the biggest lesson you've ever learned?
Um, about saving my money, or
Just with
COVID?
during the pandemic.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think maybe not personally learned it, but personally like saw it, like on other people. Like it opened my eyes a bit and noticing how people are really not the brightest, they're not the smartest,
Mm-hmm.
people going against, the facts, um, you know, just being arrogant and, not believing it's all a lie and all of that, putting, themselves and others at risks. And, you know, so just really opening my mind on closed-minded people.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's it, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Ramirez,
Of
and
course, Miss Abdul.